You can't do that. It's not done. No problem can be resolved on the level at which it develops. Meta-level thinking. Pawn the risk. Take the chance.
Doctor to the decision makers. But who is Dr. Barry Goodfield? Internationally known psychologist, psychotherapist, author, and speaker, Professor Barry Goodfield informs, stimulates, and entertains your audience. A native Californian who was for 5 years protege to semantics expert and U.S. Senator S.I. Hayakawa, Goodfield has advised presidents, prime ministers, and other top leaders on crisis management, conflict resolution, and stress reduction. He has shared his methods with business leaders, top government and military officials, and other professionals interested in the non-verbal language of the human mind.
Do something about it. Take the risk. Because diplomacy is about communication, about honesty, about integrity. You are so damned important in this world today. I'm not sitting here or standing here because I think you're a bunch of lightweights. If you can understand that by reading nonverbal behavior, by understanding the unconscious messages that people send, if you can understand that, you have an opportunity to be on the inside.
And he specializes in the understanding of human behaviors, especially those that are identifiable through nonverbal cues. And he can read these candidates like a book. Joe Biden, what kind of nonverbal cues does he give us?
Interesting guy, Joe Biden, a man who's been certainly around for a long, long time, and he knows stress and pressure too. I mean, here's a man who learned to deal with difficulty when he is under stress and pressure, is that he will tend to flutter his eyes very quickly. We know that rapid eye movement relates to anxiety. So when he's being disingenuous, his eyes flutter very quickly. And he also, in that sense, puts on that kind of smile that looks like a roller coaster. So when you see that roller coaster kind of smile fluttering in his eyes and pulling back, then you know you've got Joe Biden in a situation where he is being either disingenuous or being accused of being somehow wrong.
The last many months is you looked at all the debates of the American political candidates for presidency.
Well, I sure did.
All of them.
Verschrikkelijk.
Looking at
Yeah,
looking at their non-verbal leads. One of those people was Hillary Clinton.
Right.
She ran for president.
Sure did.
What can you tell us about her, for instance?
Well, you know, I have 12 different personality types that I hypothesize. I call her the pouncer, and I guess probably for obvious reasons. You know, when you interviewed her, she came in just kind of like, whoa! Mm-hmm. And that's the way she did it, and that's the way she does it. And one of the things that she does is that when you ask a question, and there's sure videotape of that, when you ask a question with her and she's not ready to answer it or she wants to answer something else, she'll just start talking louder and comes right over the top of it. She just overwhelms you. She just comes in real strong, and then when you push her in a place where she feels a bit uncomfortable, she just laughs like this, and she laughs it off. And so her message as a very, very skilled communicator is, I know what I'm going to do, I know what I want, and I know how I want it. And you, the interviewer, is going to get what I want to give you. You have a whole interview of that.
Can you show me some of that? I mean, because you've analyzed it, right?
There she is.
This is her non-verbal leak.
This
eyes open. What does this mean?
Well, it means these are the steps of what she does. It's that quick. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. We all, this is not unique, we're all that way. And that we all have something that we do. Here's a moment which is interesting. You know, we didn't know this until we had video, but until we could do some of this. This is a person who, when she's not sure about something, she might close an eye part of the way when she blinks. So it's not a complete close of the eye, it's just one eye closes, the other one stays a little open.
Because she still wants to keep control.
What's the message when somebody does that to you? Is that trust? No. This is a major person who's got her a program, and she's got some distrust. And by the way, does anybody know who her husband is? Why she might have that kind of feeling, and why that reaction might be there. So here's a picture of her eyes not closing completely. That was on your show, by the way. And so there is a message about what she says, how she says it. She talks. There's the shock in her eyes, which is amazing. Her eyes, there's literally a lot of white around both parts of the eyes. That's observable, testable behavior.
But what does it mean? The fact
shock.
Shock.
She's got some shock that's in her system. It's old. It's always there. She's always trying to, that's part of the reason she pushes so hard, that there's a lot of shock and pressure in her body. Look at the way she walks. So what can we see when we look at Governor Christie? Well, we can notice that his eyebrows are up. There's a shifting of his jaw. His eyes don't close completely. That's a sign of distrust. There's a difference between the left and the right side of his mouth, and he's got blocked breathing. He's tough, he's strong, he's determined. He sees himself as a winner with real power to lead. But the question then is, will he be the Rocky of 2016 in the presidential campaign? It's clearly a long shot. But isn't that why we love Rocky so much? Governor George Pataki, what can we see when we look at him? He's there, but he's not there. There's a trance in his eyes. Sometimes they don't close completely. But what's most important when I look at him is I see a terrific difference between the left and the right side of his mouth. If you just take a look at that, you can get two different messages from the same guy. He's a driven man. He holds a lot of sadness inside. That's very evident when you take a close look at him. He's tired, but he's unwilling to quit. That's a consistent message that goes back to 1981 when he was first elected to public office. The message says, "See me, I can help." He's a tired old soldier, but perhaps this is his last hurrah.
Dr. Barry Goodfield brings to your audience an established track record in the understanding of communication, crisis, and conflict. Your audience will leave enthusiastic, involved, and inspired. Book Barry Goodfield for your next event, The Doctor to the Decision Makers.